thanks for all your kind comments and your support. It's been really lovely. I hope season plods on, drags on. Terrible run. It's killed us, hasn't it? Factors. Windass. No pace up front with our team. Probably only the player we've got up front with any sort of pace is Wilkes. He's not been fit. First he didn't have volume, then he got volume when he got an injury. Byers. I know that's only a couple of players, but take a couple of players out of any great team, you know. Take Alan Ball and Jeff Hurst had an England team that won World Cup in '66. Do you know what I mean? Take John Sheridan and David Hurst had at '91 promotion and cup winning team. Happens, doesn't it? Take Lampard and Drogba out of their conquering team. Yeah, 2 players can make a difference. Especially when players that come in don't really grasp their opportunity. Add to that Patterson as well. I think he's been a huge miss, Patterson. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, and I've said many times, I don't know what his best position is, but I know that he's been my 11 every week, wherever it were on park, because you know what you're going to get. So, you know, we've lost them 3. We had that wobble against Bolton. It did well to get a point in end. I thought they were a better team. And then that run. Barnsley. I actually thought we played quite well at Barnsley, to be honest with you. I know we lost. But it's just individual errors, isn't it? I thought. Terrible ball out from Flint. Volks wasn't expecting it. He was caught flat-footed. Dawson, no man's land. A couple of missed it, and then I thought we took it to him. I thought it were different to game earlier in the season when they gave us a proper spanking, Barnsley, and probably deserved to get 4 or 5. And of course, then when we're pushing on, we get done on sucker punch. Forest Green is just a shocking performance. Very flat atmosphere. Burton, and it's rhythm, and I start to wonder, you know, there's a correlation between what's happening up here and your physical approach to the game, because we suddenly look very tired, look very leggy, and it does happen, and it is, up here does affect you physically. I don't know how you go about stopping that. I mean, recently I've lost my mum, which has upset me, but it's upset my stomach as well. It's given me, you know, it's given me bad guts. But I'm upset mentally, but it's affected. Same with football players, that mental pressure starts building up. You go on a bad run, you see teams below you catching up and then overtaking you. You see your advantage going in games in hand, which if we could have picked games in hand to have, it probably would have been them fixtures. So to lose them, that mental stress, suddenly it manifests itself physically, and suddenly you can see players look like they've got heavy legs, and that's that. What you do about it, I don't know. I mean, famously, Ron Atkinson, when we got that cup final against Manchester United, he didn't want players bogged down with it, so they did all the work in the week previously, and that week again, it's just about keeping everybody relaxed and taking their minds off it and stop them thinking about it. And obviously, famously, he had Stan Boardman on coach and this and that other. And I'm not suggesting we get a 1970s comedian in before next game, do you know what I mean? But distraction, it works. I know managers talk about we've got to keep the focus, we've got to keep on the objective, but sometimes distraction relaxes people. And it doesn't matter what you do in life, you know, whether it's putting bloody shelves up or playing football or whatever it is, you do it better when you're relaxed. I put some shelves up in our kitchen about 4 years ago and I'd got monk on. I did not want to do it. And I'll ask, if you put them shelves up yet, and I got stuff out, and I was drilling holes all over this wall, and it bloody drill bit won't go in, and there were holes everywhere, and burnt a bit out and I'm looking about. And then I went to change drill bit, and then I realised that because I've got face on, with stress of it, because I've got other stuff to do, I realised I'd been using a wood bit instead of masonry bit, yeah. But that's that. When you're stressed, anything you do, you've got to be relaxed about it. I'm not saying taking it easy and strolling about, you've still got to have energy, but I think it's easier to have energy when you're relaxed, you know. What he does about that, I don't know. Maybe give him a couple of days off training, daft as it sounds. I know that might sound stupidest in the world. You know, you've got to be prepared, they know what they're doing now. They know what system that we play. They know what's expected. So maybe just give him a couple of days off training. I don't know. Go out, lads, go and have a game of bowling or something instead. Well, maybe not, somebody put the back out, but you know what I mean. So now we're in this situation that we've got 2 games left. Got to win them both and hope that somebody else slips up, which is not a position you want to be in. Can't see the other 2 slipping up. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the season, you end up where you should be. You end up where your performances, you know, have left you. There's no arguments about that. But, and this is the one thing we've got to cling to and hope, is that this time a month ago, Plymouth and Ipswich would have been looking at Wednesday, top of the table, 2 games in hand, against Forest Green. I mean, if you were going to pick a game in hand, it would be Forest Green. They were probably looking at that and going, well, we've just got to keep winning and hope Wednesday slip up, but it's probably not going to happen. That's probably what they were thinking, but it has happened, and it can happen. Can I see Ipswich and Plymouth slipping up? No, I can't. But you never know in football. You know, you couldn't get a bet on Wednesday to finishing automatic a month ago. Now you can get odds again. So you never know. There's a lot of rich bookmakers, isn't there? Because things usually pan out the way they're expecting, but that slip we had proves it that's not always the case. So we've just got to hope Ken Barnsley do us a favour, and I think if any team that can beat Ipswich, it's probably Barnsley. Ipswich earlier in the season, you know, their fans we're playing it out from back too often, it's too slow, it's methodical, they don't mix things up. All accusations that we've had as well. Now they've had a run of winning games that, you know, their gaffer's best thing since sliced bread. You know, it all gets forgotten. So if anyone can do them, I think it's Barnsley. I think they can do us a favour there. I don't want to go to Derby last game. If that's one game I wouldn't have handpicked for the last match of the season, it's that. I'm sure we have beaten plenty of times over the year, but in my memory, they just seem to be a bogey side, and for whatever reason, I can only ever remember the shit games against them or horrible results against them. So, and obviously, ex-Wednesday keeper ain't net. Mendes Lang scoring goals for him from midfield. You wouldn't unpick that as a game, but you never know. Patterson's back. Windass is apparently back training. Having him back could make a huge difference. Because he just works the channels, doesn't he? Works channels, drags defenders away, pulls defence apart, and that creates them gaps for midfielders, for likes of Byers, although I don't think we're going to see him again this season, but for likes of Byers or whoever's in that role, maybe Patterson or whoever, to get in there and exploit them gaps. Creates space for likes of Gregory as well. Terrible game over there against Bristol. Flat performance. Just everything about it were honourable, but we got job done. That's all that matters at this stage, innit? I would be tempted if it were me. I think I'd play Patterson with Gregory. They did okay together earlier in the season. I don't think Gregory looks good with someone who's an handful outside of him. I thought, poor player, but not Gregory. Poor player, but Canberra last season, even though his second touch with a tackle, I thought Gregory's best games came with Canberra because you never knew what was going to happen. You know, ball would be bouncing off him, and he was a nuisance. He was an handful. Defenders didn't know what they were going to do. He didn't know what they were going to do. But it creates them gaps and spaces and opportunities for somebody with Gregory's intelligence to exploit. So I think I'd play Patterson up there with Gregory to do a similar job, but with more control to it. I think Smith's look flat. I know he's just had a new kid, maybe he's having late nights with that. Who knows? I'm not sure he's not carrying an up way with running. And he hasn't looked a goal threat. And one of the reasons he's not looked a goal threat is because Wind hasn't been playing. Smith has been working channels. I think if you want to see it best of Smith, you've just got to say to him, right, I don't want to see you any wider than width, posts. I mean, famously, Alan Shearer, when he were at Newcastle, he was having a bad spell. Hull had dropped him, they were all that game. He weren't scoring goals, and he a brilliant goal scorer, but he weren't scoring. And Bobby Robson come in, didn't he? And that's what he said to him. He pulled him aside. He said, stop chasing balls down channel. Let other kid do that. Just stay middle. Just stay 18-yard box. That's all I'm bothered about. Don't drop back and try and link it. Just stay there. And of course, Wednesday was the first team that sort of come a cropper up against that, didn't they? With that spanking we had. 8-1. Or 8-2. Memory fogs it out, doesn't it? But I think Smith, if he's going to be a goal scorer, needs similar instruction to what Shearer had when Robson took over. So, don't think that's going to happen. I think because of the way we play with wing backs, you need your forwards peeling out sometimes in attacking third to double up and make them little overloads. So, that being the case, I think I would put Patterson up there with Gregory. But that's all I can do. Keep plodding on. And hope for the best.